DeSantis, I was just thinking about you. I was just thinking about your logic. Now, you're banning African American studies in all public schools in Florida. I'm thinking, now you got to be fair, Ronnie. You don't look like a fascist, or you don't look like a white supremacist. So to be fair, because I don't think you want to look like a fascist by telling people what they can and cannot study, right? You don't want to just force one thing on people. You don't want to force just whiteness on people, right? So to be fair, I think you ought to ban all European history, all American history that involves Caucasians or white people. Also, while you're at it, ban all Christian studies. We should not be allowed to learn about the Christian religion or any white contribution in American history. If you can't learn about black contributions and you can't learn about African American history in school, then why can't you learn about European history in school or white European history in school? I'm just saying, to be fair, right? We don't want to discriminate. But anyhow, if that ain't the case, then I guess that you are a fascist. You want to force shit on people. You want to force whiteness on people. And you want to hide the truth about the Black Holocaust, about enslavement of Africans. You want to hide it all. Lynching, Jim Crow, all the whole goddamn thing that you're running on the Jim Crow 2.0 ballot, just like Trump did.
All right, guys, so once again, the woke revolutionaries are upset with Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis is doing exactly what he promised, which is keeping woke ideology and woke propaganda and indoctrination out of public schools in Florida. And he made news by basically banning AP African American studies from the curriculum, from being taught in public schools because of some indoctrination, some wokeness that is in this course. And again, the woke revolutionaries are upset about this. They're crying racism and white supremacy because Ron DeSantis is basically trying to, again, protect students from being indoctrinated in school. So I want to talk about this because I think that I can chime in on how I feel about this as a black person. But first, I actually want to go ahead and play the clip of Ron DeSantis giving the reasons for why he is banning this AP course in public school. Take a look.
In the state of Florida, our education standards not only don't prevent, but they require teaching Black history, all the important things. That's part of our core curriculum. This was a separate course on top of that for advanced placement credit. And the issue is we have guidelines and standards in Florida. We want education, not indoctrination. If you fall on the side of indoctrination, we're going to decline. If it's education, then we will do this course. So when I heard it didn't meet the standards, I figured, yeah, they may be doing serious. It's way more than that. This course on Black history, what's one of the lessons about? Queer theory. Now, who would say that an important part of Black history is queer theory? That is somebody pushing an agenda on our kids. And so when you look to see they have stuff about intersectionality, abolishing prisons, that's a political agenda. And so that's the wrong side of the line for Florida standards. We believe in teaching kids facts and how to think, but we don't believe they should have an agenda imposed on them. When you try to use Black history to shoehorn in queer theory, you are clearly trying to use that for political purposes.
Yeah, so you're saying that, you heard that. Now, again, this debate has spilled over into the public, okay? Even the legacy media outlets like Fox News, even they are having heated debates about Ron DeSantis and this decision not to allow this course to be taught in Florida public schools. Take a look.
If you want to live in Ron DeSantis's Florida, and there are a lot of people who do want to, but the reason that it will not be such a cakewalk as many Republicans think is they're doing things like this, like banning the teaching of AP African American history. The Department of Education said, quote, "It teaches students about activism, intersectionality, and encourages ending the war on Black, trans, queer, and gender, and nonconforming and intersex people." I'm sorry, what? You want to cancel? That's the only AP class in Florida that's getting canceled. If you are a teacher in Manatee County, Florida, you now are not allowed to choose the books in your own libraries. It has to go through a media literacy person or librarian for them to choose. There are teachers now who are having to cover up or remove all of the books that they have hand-selected for their classrooms because of this assault by the government of Florida.
It's not an assault.
It is an assault.
It's not a good class.
Stop it.
I looked at the curriculum. It's garbage. It has nothing to do with history.
AP African American history.
Garbage.
Defend it.
Have you seen the curriculum? He actually said, come back the next day and give me another shot.
The stuff at the end there that you said, that's total indoctrination. All the intersectionality,
By the way,
trans.
That's the statement. You don't think that black trans people exist or black queer people exist or
that's a straw
non-conforming
man
people?
or a straw trans. Excuse me.
Don't do that. This is serious.
No, I'm actually being serious. Just because people do not want that stuff, because it's age inappropriate, does not make them transphobic. Because you're going there.
Okay, well, let's talk about a book ban now. Out of Darkness, a young adult novel about two teens that have a relationship.
Yeah,
it's now been 16 school districts are coming for
what?
this book.
Whatever it
I don't know
is.
about the book.
Yeah,
I will read it this
why?
weekend.
Because good. Let's book club it.
Coming
because
up
it deals
next,
with racism.
Get off my lawn. Neighborhood fights are.
Yeah, so of course I looked into this course, okay, to see what was in the curriculum. And lo and behold, Ron DeSantis was not capping about what's in this class, okay, as you have intersectionality and activism here, okay? This is what they talk about. This topic examines intersectionality as an analytical framework and its connection to Chicano and Asian American feminist thought. Students may explore a text from writings of Kimberly Crenshaw, Patricia Hill Collins, or Angela Davis. There's a whole section on black feminist movement, womanism, and intersectionality. Yeah, I mean, that is what's there. They also have a whole section here on Black queer studies. Black queer studies. Okay. They got a whole section here on Black Lives Matter. Right. They just, I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's like, here's the way I look at it. Okay. In regular history course, okay, does it focus specifically on black people? Not necessarily, but there is a focus on the civil rights movement, slavery, Jim Crow, etc., okay, and the contributions of black Americans to this country. Now, clearly, this course, the AP African American History course, dives deeper into that, okay, but it definitely comes at it from a certain angle and perspective that is overwhelmingly progressive, okay? I don't know what a part of black history has to do with black queer studies, right? I'm not sure exactly how that's a part of black history, and that is why I do have a problem with this, because this is a way to sneak in talks about sexuality, feminism, racism, intersectionality. Look, here's the thing. I'm not saying that some of these conversations can't happen, but we all know the framework in which they're having these conversations, okay? They're having these conversations in this class. There's a whole section about white supremacy as well, too. Okay? I'm just saying, as a black person, I don't know why you need to talk about LGBTQ. What does LGBTQ got to do with black history? I don't think that it is significant enough part of black history to even be taught in a so-called AP African American Studies course for high schoolers. Okay? I'm just saying. There's not a whole section here on black Christianity, right? Now they got, a little small section or whatever on faith and blah, blah, blah. But again, not a whole section on Christianity. They just call it faith, right? But again, they have a whole section on black queer studies and black feminism, right? The feminist movement. Let's talk about feminism. Again, here's the thing. I know it's a controversial thing to say when you're like, oh, this guy is banning African-American studies, AP African-American studies. But I really do believe that these types of classes that have this obvious woke political agenda should be taught in college, right? I believe they should be in college. Now, again, it is an AP course, so that means it's technically a college-level course. But let's just keep it in college, right? I don't think every college course should be taught in high school. I really don't. If students want to learn that when they go to college, if they want to learn about all that, that's fine. I have no problems with that. Okay, that is where you would learn some stuff like that in college. But I'm not necessarily sure if it is appropriate to study black queerness in high school. And I'm sick and tired of these woke revolutionaries trying to equate black history and black people with queerness. Because I guarantee you, if they did have an AP European studies, which who knows, maybe they do, I guarantee you they're not throwing in white queerness, right? They're not talking about white. There's not going to be a whole section on white queerness, right? In fact, they never do this with whites, right? Anytime they talk about, you know, white people or European history, I don't hear anything about queerness or LG. I don't hear anything about that. In fact, I actually looked up the AP European history course curriculum, and there's nothing about any queer European history or LGBTQ European history. I'm just saying, it's only black people that they try to throw this stuff on, right? They're trying to make black history or black people or the black community synonymous with LGBTQ and queerness, right? Like, that's just inherent to black people. It's just, you know, being queer and LGBTQ, that's inherent to you guys. That's a part of being black. And I just reject that. I reject it. They're not the same. And this is what courses like this do. They try to make them one and the same. Well, queerness is just a part of being black, right? You just expect it to be gay, right? Just because you're black. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I think that if they stripped out some of this stuff, right? Like, again, like the black queerness stuff and the obvious political agenda that's in this course, I think that Ron DeSantis will have no problem with this course being taught, because I think, you know, hey, students should be able to learn about African-American history if they want to. I think there's plenty of that that's learned in normal history class, but if people want to take a deeper dive into it, fine, I don't have an issue with it, but leave the political agenda out of it, right? Because I, again, personally don't believe that black queerness is an integral part of black history, and it shouldn't be taught as something that is black history, because it's not, right? In my opinion, it's not, okay? So, hey, I mean, I don't know. Would they teach a Latino history class and throw, Latinx or queer Latinos in there? Would they throw that in there, right? Latino queerness. Again, I'm just saying, why they always do this with black people? They always do it with black people. And I kind of agree with DeSantis on this, because, again, I don't personally want queerness to be taught as a part of black history. I'm not cool with that. I don't like that. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.